What's up guys, my name is Adriel Rivera and today I'm going to show you how to make a Young Sinatra type beat or Logic type beat in FL Studio. So I have this beat right here, let me show you guys what it sounds like.
Yeah, just that Young Sinatra flow, just like I did it before. The only thing that changed, got a couple million to my name. Homie, that's insane, but I'm still keeping it real, you feel? That's why the people always love me, you need to chill. I'm the one up in their playlist, that's why I'm A-list, that's why I'm famous. This rap game, I made this, yo, not the level I'm on. I'm the king of this jungle, boy, you just a pawn. I don't mean to hurt you, but I'ma keep climbing, so move before I murk you. I'ma knock you to the ground, bring you to the pound. Like a dog, I own you, I know it hurts. The second I spit it, you know that it with it, you just need a pivot, you know that I get it, boy, that's how it works. I'ma keep it going, these bars, they always flowing. Took some time to persist, these games, they started showing. So let me keep it real, and girl, it's how you feel. Whatever you do, think twice or I'll embarrass you, Sinatra.
Now before we get into this video, make sure you guys leave a like, subscribe for more content on FL Studio, and make sure to turn on the bell notification icon so you never miss one of my uploads. I have a surprise for you guys at the end of this video, so make sure you stick around. But without further ado, let's get into how to make a Young Sinatra type beat. So what I'm gonna do first is I'm gonna mute my vocals so we can just focus on this beat. And if you wanna know how to mix your vocals in FL Studio, I have a video right here. Just click that card and it'll take you to a video showing you how to do just that. First thing that I want to do is I want to focus on the drums because the drums is what's going to give you that hip-hop feel that you always get in Young Sinatra songs. I found this drum loop right here and I made sure to stretch it so it fit the BPM of my song. Now if we take a listen to the drum beat, you'll see what I mean by it gives it that hip-hop feel. You know, it sounds lively, it has that swing to it, and it really just lets us know that we're in the hip-hop genre. Now when it actually gets into the verse, I layered over my own programmed drums to accentuate the loop a lot more. So if you give this a listen, it basically mimics exactly what the loop does, with a couple added snares for variation. And because the drum loop has that swing to it, I made sure that when I programmed these drums, they weren't completely on beat. You'll see right here that the kick and the snares are slightly off beat, and that's what gives it that swing. After that, I added these hi-hats. And a lot of Young Sinatra or Logic beats have hats that kind of just keep going like that. So I made sure to put a hat in every 16th note. And I used two different types of hats, so it gave it that variation. And also controlled the velocity down here, as you can see, so that not everything sounded at the same volume. And what that does is just gives it that shuffle kind of feeling. And that really completes the drums to get that Logic feel. Next, I want to move on to this pluck. So I kept this pluck moving really fast. I didn't get too complicated with this because when it comes down to it, Logic songs aren't super complex. Now I know for a lot of Young Sinatra songs, samples are used heavily, but the only thing is if you wanted to post your song on Spotify or iTunes, which I have a video showing you how to do just that up here, you can't be using samples or else you'll get copyright infringement. So we want to make sure we stray away from samples as much as possible, and we're only using loops that we have the right to use. But in order to get that sample sound, what I think really helped was adding in these hums and the Rhodes. First thing I want to go over are these hums. In a lot of Young Sinatra songs, you'll hear vocals in the background, but they're always chopped up and they sound like they were sampled right out of another song. So what I did is I made my own hums to make it feel like the song was sampled. So if you listen to the different types of hums I have here, this is the first hum I sang. And what I did was I edited the pitch of this a little bit so you can't recognize that it's my voice right away, because if you're sampling, you can't use your own voice. So I try to make it not sound like me exactly. After that, I added a harmony. And when you combine those two, it sounds like this. And at the end right here, you can see that I cut it off because those harsh cuts really convince the listener that it's a sample. So if you listen to that with the pluck, Sounds really cool. After that, I added in these Rhodes. And basically what I did is I got a Rhodes keyboard, opened up the piano roll, and played these notes myself. And if you see right here, all I'm doing is sliding up one note. After I made this sample, I added a crap ton of reverb to it, and I exported it as a single wave file and imported it back into my song. And with FL Studio 20's new feature, consolidating, that just makes it a lot easier to do. So if you give it a listen to how it sounded like originally, you hear all that reverb, but if we don't cut it out, it doesn't sound like a fake sample. And it just sounds weird if you play that with the rest of the song. So what I did is I cut it off right at the end of the measure, and then I added another Rhodes an octave down and did the same thing. And when you play them together, it sounds like this. So adding that back in with the rest of the melody really gives it that sample sound. And having that drum loop on top of it really just puts it all together. Next, we have the 808. Now what I did with this 808 is I mimicked the drums, and every time the kick hit, that's when the 808 would play. So if you just listen to that with the drums, it sounds really dope. And making sure not to sustain the 808 too much is also going to add to that Logic feel, because we really want that punchy 808, and having it sustained is not going to sound as good as having it cut off more frequently. And you'll notice that in the middle of this bass line, I slid up the octave. That's something that Logic tends to do in a lot of his songs. So that just adds to making it sound more like a Logic or Young Sinatra type beat. And then obviously you just bring that in with the rest of the beat. And you've basically got a Young Sinatra beat now. However, the other thing that I did was add this little breakdown in the middle of the song. And Logic tends to do this a lot now, especially with his Young Sinatra beats. So if you give this a listen, what I did was I removed the pluck, but kept the drums and the bass, and added this one note of a piano. But what really sells that this is a Young Sinatra beat are these vocal chops right here. And if you've been listening to Logic recently, you'll know that his producer 6 loves adding in vocal chops anywhere he can. And these kind of breakdowns is something that he does quite often. But in order to transition the regular beat into the breakdown, I made these transition drums, which is basically the exact same thing as the regular drums. It's just that at the end, I added in an extra snare. And then I also added in those vocal chops beforehand to show you that the breakdown is coming. And after the breakdown is over, the piano stays and it just adds an extra element before the song finishes. So there's more variation, because variation is a good thing to have in songs so the listener doesn't get bored. And obviously it's not a Young Sinatra song without Sinatra. So this is basically how you make a Young Sinatra type beat. Now it's time to tell you guys about the surprise that I had in store for you. There's gonna be a download link to this beat in the description so you guys can rap over this and post it on your SoundCloud, your YouTube, anywhere you want. But what I want you guys to do is I want you to use this beat and make your own Young Sinatra type song, and then leave a link to your song in the comments below. So what I'm saying is download the beat, put it into FL Studio, make your own rap and rap over it, and then post it on SoundCloud or YouTube and leave that link in the comments below. I'm gonna listen to every single one of those. And when Logic's new album, Young Sinatra IV, comes out, I'm going to take my most favorite rap and then pin it to the top of the comment section so that anybody in the future who comes to see this video will see your song and hopefully share it with their friends. I just want to help you guys get a little bit more exposure as much as I can. because I love it when you guys show me your songs, and it'd be super awesome to see the type of raps that people will make with this beat. So go ahead, go to the description and download this beat. It'll be sent to your email. Make sure to leave a like if you like this video. Comment what kind of video you want me to do next, and subscribe and turn on the bell notification icon to get more content like this from me. That's all I have for you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and remember, don't be afraid to show your genius.